Maria Omozele Edeko, Esquire, and the Commissioner for Social Development and Gender Issues, Edo State. I was recently appointed by the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Dion Osagie Tv. I'm the immediate past chairperson of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FILA, Edo State, and it's good to be here. It's good to be here, and we're grateful to His Excellency for this appointment, which so many people, they say it's a round peg in a round hole. Since I've been at the forefront of issues that have to do with women. You know, His Excellency have actually changed the name of this ministry. It used to be Ministry of Social Development and Women Affairs, but now it's Ministry of Social Development and Gender Issues. So talking about gender issues, we are actually a ministry that cares for the vulnerable persons. At international law, when you talk about vulnerable persons, we are talking about irregular migrants, we're talking about women, talking about children, we are talking about persons living with disability, those destitute, and all the other indigent persons, prisoners. So our scope of work is quite expansive, and since I assumed duty, what we've tried to do is, first of all, I have told them at the ministry we are going to do about 100% turnaround. We need to run it like a modern enterprise, and this ministry, like I have told the staff of this ministry, it's a ministry that is, you can liken to the ministry of Christ, because you're caring for the lowly. Sure. You are caring for the vulnerable. Sure. So it has nothing to do with the salary you are paid. Sure. It has to do with passion. Sure. It has to do with care for persons who cannot help themselves. And so my message always and often, I tell the staff that you are privileged. If you see that from that perspective, sure, you will do this work with every passion that it deserves. Because there are persons doing it that are not being paid salaries to do this. Sure. So it's like walking your way to the kingdom of God. And it's what my understanding.
No, it's a good understanding.
Yeah, about working in this ministry. Yes. So to that extent, we are asking for support. We have so many donor agencies, and the governor is ready to do his work. We have the Children Correctional Center. We want to have sporting activities for them there. If we can construct a lawn tennis court, a basketball pitch, we can construct a table tennis pitch, so that that can take care of their sporting activities. The Skill Acquisition Center, I visited there severally, and I will be going there today again to see how we can make the Skill Acquisition Center more productive for the good of the children that are kept there. And for education, we are getting the teachers to make sure those children are taught. Sure. So that at the time they come out from that correctional center, they will be able to live a meaningful life. And if you look at Edo State today, we are fortunate, we are lucky. So many of our children, they have agreed to come back to the country. We are seeing the situation in South Africa. I am not taking of a rudimentary empowerment scale, because our country is such that our appetite is very large. Sure. So I'm asking, if children have to be empowered, let's take the textile industry, for example, tailoring. Why can't we do it in an industrialized manner? Sure. The child learn how to make clothes in an industrialized way. You go to the production hub set up by the governor. We must key into the vision of the governor. The governor is one of the finest governors I've seen after people like Ambrose Ali and Bemudia. Investing in human capacity development. Our children cannot become beggars in other nations.
Sure.
That cannot be what defines us. We are hardworking people. The production hub as it is today, if you go there, there are those making polythene bag, those making machines. They are doing various skills and they can work 24 hours and the electricity is 24 hours that you get electricity. It's Asaple Road here at Warrior, where you have the former magistrate court. The governor has, given it a new facelift and we have lights there. And what I'm telling donor agencies, it has to be 3 dimensions. We are investing in the skill acquisition for our children. Government needs support to generate electricity privately. This infrastructure is needed to drive the, industrialization of the state. If you are even having a barber salon and you can barb hair without having to depend on electricity, that NEPA go, NEPA come, you will do well.
Sure.
You will be happy.
Sure.
And I am also keen to the vision of His Excellency, and he said, let's develop skilled manpower. We can export skilled manpower. Not a person who don't have any skill to sell. You can't function in Nigeria. You want to go to a developed economy.
Sure.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
So if you are a tailor, be the best tailor that you can be. If you are even going to school, learn skill. That is what the governor is saying.
It's a good one.
And our people must learn to embrace this. And I am one person that is saying citizens' education is very important. Citizens must learn to demand for leaders that are making difference in their life.
Sure.
That you should choose who rules you.
Sure.
So if we learn to do that, and you have a leader is not doing well, the social contract theory says you should dethrone them.
Sure.
When you have one that people that you identify in your community, they are good. They are the people that we should choose to rule us.
Yeah.
That is the social contract theory, which I think we have responsibility to tell our children they should do what is right. I can see here your organization, you are into several things, and
we are into so many things.
Yeah, we would be happy to collaborate with you.
I think that's what we need to do, because in the last few years, I would give you some links so you can check our work. In the last few years, we have contributed massively to the development of Edo State in so many areas.
Thank you.
Like you said, it takes a lot of passion to be able to reach out to these people.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you look here, we have members around the world, people who are supporting our work. This is a little bit about me here. All right, these are some of our members. All right, so start from here. All these young guys live on the streets. All these young guys live on the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do is do our best to remove them from the streets. There's no excuse for a young child who is just 10 to be hawking pure water instead of being in school.
So again, the child's right law.
Exactly.
Because Edo States have domesticated that, and there's a program we are planning now.
Yeah.
Maybe people can key into it, where we want to try to evacuate these children, because of the Boko Haram issue.
Yes.
And people don't understand that the war in the northeast is also having its ripple effects on other communities.
Right. All right, so many women in Edo States are not given a fair chance. So many of them are hungry, so hungry. We created a program 2 years ago called Godsent Kitchen. Every Saturday we provide free food. But outside of that, so many women are not given a fair chance. Many of them have kids. Especially if you go to Ringo at this time, you see some women with their children out there begging to eat. We think it's wrong, and we think that the Ministry of Women Affairs or Social Development can definitely collaborate. We have taken statistics of everybody who are beggars in Ringo. We have numbers, we have names, we have their locations. We have done that over a year ago. Okay, so some of our work, this guy here, the young man, had an accident along
government, those people, some of them, government have evacuated them several times. Some, they profile them those that are willing to go, send them back to their states of origin. And the other ones, their problem is they don't want to learn any skill. We have a lot of skill acquisition programs, that have been set by His Excellency and the wife of the governor, Mrs. Betsy Obaseki.
Yeah.
And these people, some of them, their culture is a little bit different from ours. But we are planning a program, which I think on that issue you can key into it. We need support to make sure that in the next few weeks our street will get taking care of some of these challenges.
Yeah, I think that taking many of these women off the streets without a proper structure is not going to work. Taking them out of the streets without properly setting them up. We have done this so many times. We know how it works. Because so many of these women, we set up a small business for them and we follow them up. Alright? So it is not just taking them off the streets. We take them off the streets, we need to find a way to sustain them. Many of these women come back to the street because they do not have a means of livelihood. Okay? That is the main cause.
Can I tell to you on that?
Yes, sure.
I think the problem we are having, it has to do with drug, substance abuse. You won't believe it. Many of these persons, they are into substance abuse. And that drives them back to the street. So, like when you say, we have empowerment scheme, many of them are not ready to key into it. Because what the governor has been doing is, you learn a trade, and it gives you startup pack and some financial support to sustain you, and monitoring is also
that is the vital part, because most of the cases we have done, we have had over 90% success rate. Okay, there's a woman I just met here. She was here 2 years ago. I think she's in the chat. I brought about 5 guys here 2 years ago. They told me back then that there's no way these children will stay with me. But today they are all in school. One of the young boys is in Word of Faith.
Very good.
You understand?
I congratulate
so I think that, yes, I think that monitoring is a big problem. Like this lady here, she was a beggar. She have a triplet, 2 set of twins. She was begging at Ring Road. When I met her, I was able to relocate her to an apartment and set up a trade for her. This woman here, she was blind for 2 years. All she needed was a cataract surgery. We did that in Lagos. This woman here, she was pregnant, 9 months pregnant. She needed 90,000 naira for a C-section. She didn't have it. We took care of that. You understand? So many cases, like this guy here, look at his leg, so many cases we have done. So I think that monitoring, we have a sport program also. We remove children from the streets, put them on sport every Saturday.
That's very good.
Yeah. We have a food kitchen.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And also...
The food kitchen.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a facility for it?
We don't have a place for it. We were using the Casual Cultural Center before they recently moved us out because they're doing some renovation for the festival coming up. So we don't have a permanent location right now. But the last 2 years, that was the location we're using right behind.
How do you sustain it? Because it's a very laudable program.
Yeah, so the way we sustain it, we've been able to gather followers around the world that every week we have one person who is hosting a birthday. So they use that as a form of support. They host their birthdays with us. And on average, we spend about 70 to 80,000 naira to cook a bag of rice.
That's very good.
Yes.
Because we are thinking about a soup kitchen.
Yeah, it's good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Because it's part of the, the challenges we are having in our country.
Yeah.
Because even if government sets up all of these, sustainability
is what matters.
Yes, because if you give somebody 2 naira to care for the poor, our culture of corruption, 1.5 kobo will be eaten, and the other one, so government become a little bit scared of getting into some of these venture.
Yeah.
And as a people, we must change. We must change.
Yeah. Let me have that print out. All right, so not to take some of your time, these are some of the some person who sent to skill acquisition. They come out with, saying some of the awards we have gotten from our works and some of our projects. All right, we have a global talent. We find out that there are so many young people who have so much talent going to waste. So we've been able to create a platform to challenge young people to have talent. Recently, the governor gave a young man named Razali 10 million naira as an empowerment. That young man was left on the street for over 5 years. We were the one that rescued him. All right, so it's currently the face of Alagodao. So we have that. We have so many good projects here you can look at. We have our farm and things like that. And one of the main reasons why we wrote to the governor is for us to create a youth camp. We can help remove children from the streets. You know, it's my passion. It's what I love to do. It's what I know I can do. If I move from America to be here in Benin City to follow my dream, it will be a big failure for me if I don't succeed. All right. So one of our dreams is to create a youth camp where we can, if the government have any empty building we can use, we can remove these children from the street and rehabilitate them from there. You know, so that's why we wrote to the governor and he sent us here. And so we have many partners around the world that we are partners.
You have a copy of the letter you wrote to his excellency?
You have the copy?
You can sell it on Carbon, but they do have some copies here.
You gave it to them before?
Yeah, sometimes the secretary made reference to that.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah, I would like to see it.
yeah, okay, so this is a sample of the kids. Like this boy, his name is Ebosa.
The youth camp is very important.
Yes.
So if it's something we see it, because you know.
Yeah. So these are some of the street kids. This guy is this guy. This one is here. So send them to school. Alright, this one, her name is Precious. She's an orphan.
Now some of this program, can we run them in the 18 local government area?
You can run them in the whole Africa.
Very
Yeah, recently we are just renovating a school in Wonde. We are renovating a school in Wonde. We found out that many children at Dion primary school, this particular school, they sat on the floor for over 3 years in their classroom with a very, very bad roof. So this is a project we are working on. We're going to be opening it on
Thursday.
On Thursday.
This Thursday by 11 o'clock.
Okay, so that's from the Ministry of Education.
They were inside this classroom. Rain fell on them. No chair, nothing. And we had the community immediately after our choir. The community, the past immediate chairman of the local government came from that community and he attended this school. This school was founded in 1931. So the chairman attended this school. He was former chairman, 2-time commissioner in this state. So I believe it was an aberration on his part for not.
It's okay, we don't pass no blame. We're just moving forward. All right. So these are our Ministry of Health. So these are our food kitchen. Okay. This happens every Saturday.
Very good.
All right. So we've been able to.
Where is this located?
We're doing inside the cultural center of Bakezua, but they are renovating now, so we just moved that 2 weeks ago. So we're trying to find a better location. We do this every Saturday. So if you guys can also assist us with the location, that would be good. Somewhere central. All right. So we'll be able to create a program to get free haircuts for kids that needs it. All right. So many women came to our office for different challenges. Like this woman was empowered with 100,000 naira to set up a small business. Okay, like this woman, this is a case we solved today actually. She's a widow, she got 2 kids, they hawk pure water in Benin. She's homeless, living inside the church. How much do you give her today?
We give her 10,000
Give her 10,000 naira today to run the place, and so many more. Okay, so what we like to do is to see the man, you just started his office. No matter how much your passion is, your work is very challenging. People come in every day for different problems. Can create a lot of headache for you. That's not a joke. And there's no doubt that you need us to work effectively. We are not doing it for the money. Like I said, we are doing it because it's what we love to do. You understand? So we don't need any salary. We just want to see a better Edo. So we came up with a tag called Make Edo Great. I got that from the America slogan from Donald Trump, Make America Great. All right? So, you know, so there's a need for us to work together, especially removing the kids from the streets. Okay. It's something that I really, really want to do. We hope that your tenure as a commissioner will effect a lot of change for the adult women, the adult children. We want to see you tomorrow and be very, very proud of the change you have created in those states. And I can tell you have a very decent educational background. You went to school in London.
That is part of my semester.
I know, because you talk like them now. You talk like a British. So you're a lawyer?
I'm a lawyer.
So in case
and a teacher.
Oh, my mom was a teacher. Yeah. That's where I actually got the vision from. Because most teachers are very passionate about what they do. So growing up in the community, my mom lives in America. All my family members live in America. I'm the only one that's living here. Because growing up, I saw the passion my mom had for the community. When she comes back from school, teach, you know. So I've always challenged myself that when I become a little successful, I was going to give back. And
That's
that's what we're doing. So we need your 100% support. We don't need any money from the ministry. We are not here to solicit. We just want to support. And we are also aware that the ministry can partner with so many agencies. Yeah, there are so many corporates in those that are not doing enough. You know, the ministry can challenge them to give back. You know, when you go to countries like America or this country, they give back to the community. So, but it doesn't happen here. You know, so there's a way we can make the corporates in those states to give back. No matter how little, it can make a big change. Okay, so we are going to write to the governor that we have had a meeting with you about our plans. What we really want is a youth camp. About 5 years ago, I've already purchased a land for my dream. I have a massive land that can do that. But if the government can give us a location that can serve that immediately, it can be an old building that they are not using, we can renovate. We need to move all these young guys from the street. There are 10 young boys between the age of 10 to 15 waiting for me at the office.
Yeah, you know what you have to, what I think you would do your concept notes, your proposal.
We don't know that.
Programs that you want us to collaborate with you. What are you bringing to the table? What do you want from?
Yeah, we're working on that.
And then once you do that, let's have it.
Yeah.
And that will be a starting point. So if have you done a letter to His Excellency?
Yeah.
Good.
We've done a letter before. That's when he wrote back to us that we should meet with the commissioner. But before we could do that, I was in America. This came in 2 weeks ago. Before I came back, there was a new commissioner, and we think is good. We think that, not disrespect, man, I think it's going to be a very, very big privilege if you work with us, because it's going to make a ministry. It's going to make a ministry so beautiful.
I'm very happy to have you here, because from a distance, I can get a clear picture of what you are about, you know, what you're doing. And that's what I've been telling my people.
Yeah.
We need to change the ministry mentality, because we occupy a position where we can get a lot of good aid.
Of course.
You have widows. You have people willing to assist. You have aged.
Every year, man, for the last 3 years, we give out about 500 bags of rice to widows. And we are doing it again this year.
Good. So we can collaborate in those initiatives, which is very good. You know, we have persons living with disability of different kinds. So these are persons. Today, you know, the disability bill has been passed at the national level. We're trying to domesticate it here. And that is going to bring about a lot of changes, because many vulnerable persons, they go to shopping mall, they go to offices, they can access it. So that bill, I'm sure, will soon be in the House of Assembly as an executive bill. So there's lots of work to do, and I can tell you that we are working with the vision of His Excellency, and it has to be that we are running this as a modern enterprise.
It should be.
Not in the old way.
It should be.
So
it should be.
You're going to enjoy working with us.
Of course.
Okay.
No, I think it's the other way around. The ministry will enjoy working with us, because we are new to the office. We've been doing this for a long time. I mean, so. But I just want to say welcome to the office, and we are always here to work with you, make sure that we make Edo great. Is our goal. We just want to make the Excellency happy, to see that less people suffer in Edo State. Is our goal. So you can always count on us if you have any projects. We have a lot of statistics that we have done. We've done a lot of research before now. So much has been done. All right.
So I'll give you my email address.
Okay.
Send just going through governor, do that.
Yeah.
Send a concept note. If you send me the program projects, right away I will include them in our work plan.
No problem.
And we say partnership. We're partnering with you.
Right.
So source of funding, we are able to define this. This will be
okay. So we have been able to create a crowdfunding program, whereby Edo people around the world reach out to us. Every time we have a project, say we need 1 million naira, we're able to raise it. You understand? So our work at our foundation will definitely make the work at the ministry very easy. Right, so we're not fully depending on the government. I personally, as a young person, I think that more people should be supporting the government. We should source for funds to support the states.
Thank you.
That's my belief. So we're going to leave you now. So we're going to keep you all day. We know we have a lot of persons waiting. We heard some Ijaw women singing for years. More singing for Anna.
Those women need a lot of empowerment. Those are the bold ones.
Yes.
With little education, they are willing, because we are looking for women that will contest at maybe local government council level. Let women be councillors. They will know that they need to have water in their community. They will know that electricity to keep their food properly. So we need to change the mindset of women, and I'm very delighted.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy working with us.
Thank you very much.
There's no doubt. You're going to enjoy working with us. We're going to help you, help the ministry, help the states solve so many problems, and we're happy to be here.
And in addition to that, ma, thank you very much for welcoming us in your office. You spoke eloquently. If you can even be the chief of staff to the governor, I believe with you sound, you are very sound. We'll use this opportunity
My brother is the chief of staff. And he's
he's
from the NGO world. He's a comrade.
I know that.
Yeah.
So the truth is this: we use this golden opportunity to invite you on Thursday to join us at
but that's our ministry now.
We want her to come and see.
It's okay. When we do something,
when you are less busy.
No, when we do something on our ministry, we invite her. Maybe
Okay.
when we have some of our empowerment programs.
Okay,
Yeah,
no problem.
better for you. We know you are very busy.
No problem.
Yeah, so we'll leave this with you. We have some time. We go through them.
So I would need to get a mail from you.
It's okay.
Just some programs you want us to do together,
No problem.
and how it, so that I include
And
it.
also, ma'am, I think that if it's possible, thank you. If it's possible for the government to increase the budget of this ministry, because this is a very big ministry and a lot of women need support, a lot of children need support. So I think that the budget can be increased. We have the USAID, the US development. We have so much we can do to help the ministry.
Thank you very much. So and I think what we try to create audience with the governor. Maybe if you have maybe I will need to get that letter so that if I'm doing I can find a way to book an appointment to see the governor.
No, so the follow-up, we're going to get you back the letter that the governor wrote to us, so meet the commissioner.
Okay.
Then you can meet the governor that we have already met with you.
Yeah.
This is what we
So
discussed.
that we can
follow up on
fix
that.
to see him together.
Yeah, follow up.
The governor likes people.
You know, the problem is, in the last 2 years, our work is so massive. If you know anybody in diaspora and you ask them about Dion Osagie, there's a great chance they know our work.
Did you empower some people in Lagos?
Everywhere.
Yeah, but there was a family that they were relocating in Lagos.
Yes.
There was a program I watched.
Yeah, everywhere. We do that everywhere. So, but most people don't know our work in this part of the world because of lack of internet. Because most of the time our work is online. Okay, so that's it. So I think that the governor will definitely enjoy working with us. But in the past, maybe they have chosen not to work with us because maybe some persons intimidated by our work. Because what we do, we have every ministry. We have children we take from the street and send them to sport. I don't think the Ministry of Sport have that. We have Ministry of Agriculture. We give young people stuff. Abraham, who studied at Great University of Benin, we gave him 180,000 naira. In 4 months, he was able to refund the money and start his own business.
Right.
So we're going to let you go.
That's encouraging, you know. His Excellency loves people that are.
He is a very good man.
Very resourceful person.
The Excellency is a
Yeah.
good man, but the people
with
working with him
initiative.
are not good.
No, don't
Tell him I
worry
said
about
that.
it. Don't worry, we'll do
All
it.
right. Nice talking to you, ma'am.
Me too.
All right.
Thank
All right, that's Dion Osagie.
And wait, let's take a group photograph outside.
Yeah, from the Ministry of
Yes.
Women. What's the name?
Social development.
Agenda issues.
Okay, that's your
All right.
yeah.
My personal number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this Ministry of Social Development
Social development.
and Gender Issues.
We are going to help you develop those things.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, take us some stuff.
Yes.
Outside.